this is how you manipulate yourself into achieving more. This sounds like a really dark, sort of toxic title. It sort of is. I sort of clickbaited you. I got you. But I'm gonna be backing this up with really good substance. But basically, long story short, this is how to manipulate yourself into achieving more. So my name is Danuga, and on this channel, I like to talk about things where I've thought about them, and I think that these sorts of thoughts and ideas have given me more success and made me see things in a way that I think is better. So if you're sort of like me, even remotely similar to me, these will line up with your lens of the world, and you'll be more better off. So that's my promise to you. I'll do my best to give you raw thoughts and raw truths that I've learned about myself, which you can apply to you. And while I have you real quick, I want to say this video is not going to have any animations. It's not going to have any pop-ups on the screen and edits and bombs in the background, right? This is going to be purely me talking. So while I do look, pretty good, if you want to look at me, you can. I'm flattered. But if I were the listener, I would treat this video like a podcast. So I would put my computer or phone in the corner, and I would clean my room or something while hearing what I'm saying. So that's what I would do. That's what I think you should do. But on to the video. This is how to manipulate yourself into achieving more. Now immediately, this sounds like new information. How do you manipulate yourself? How do you lie to yourself? If I told myself I'm 6'7", I'm obviously not 6'7", so I can't lie to myself and say I'm 6'7", right? So how do you even manipulate yourself? You probably you wouldn't even know how to manipulate someone else. What? How do you manipulate someone? How do you manipulate yourself, bro? And I'm gonna tell you that you've actually been doing it for years without realizing. And the problem is, when you manipulate yourself without realizing, your brain, which is inherently negative, is going to make you think negative things, compared to if you do it more manually. Then your more manual thoughts can be more positive and push you up. So the main point here is, you've been manipulating yourself for years. So why would you not want to do it positively when you've already been doing it negatively? Why would you not want to do it positively, right? That's the main part. And you might be thinking, well, you've told us that you've been manipulating yourself. I've been manipulating myself negatively. You have as well. The natural question is, how have I been doing this? Can you tell me an example? I'm going to tell you an example. I'm going to tell you an example from my life first, and then I'm going to show you how this relates to you as well. And this all ties in to the intense negative power of negative self-image. And later in the video, you guessed it, the intense positive power of positive belief, positive self-belief. So here's the first thing, right? Around maybe a year and a half, no. So I'm in year 12 now. Around this time, year 10, so around 2 years ago, literally exactly 2 years ago, sort of, I start going to the gym with my friend, right? Now, my friend is a bit bigger than me, a bit stronger than me, and I'm 15 at the time. So at this time of night in the gym, it's 9:30. I went to the gym really late at this time because my parents were cool with it. The people at the gym at 9:30 p.m., half of the guys are on steroids. Come on, just be realistic, right? If you're that dedicated, you're either you have a terrible sleep schedule to be at the gym at 9:30, or you take gym really seriously. You've been doing this for a while. You're very advanced in this thing. So me being 15 and not being genetically blessed, being in this environment, I probably was the smallest person in that gym, right? Here's what happened. In that session, because I felt like the smallest person in the gym, I felt scared to push myself to a certain limit, because I thought, oh dude, if I start struggling here, they're all gonna like accuse me of ego lifting, and they're gonna tell me to get back in my position as like the beginner, and then just do the 8 reps instead of the 9th one, because 8 reps is still within the 8 to 12 range, and don't push yourself, right? I was thinking things like that because in my eyes I wasn't worthy enough to push hard enough to get the gains, right? If you can relate in some way to this, and I know you can, so try and think, has there been a situation in my life where I felt too inferior to even try? I'll give you an example. Maybe in school, in a certain subject, you feel that you're not good at this subject, right? For example, for me, history, geography, especially geography in like year 10, that was such a drag. I don't know why they make you do it, it's so useless. But anyway, I genuinely felt like, dude, like I can't tell the difference between the latitude and the longitude. Like, I don't know what those things are, like, or how to differentiate them. So like, is there a point in me even trying in this test? Because I'm already fucked and I know it. Is there a point in me trying? And here's the thing, right? When you have beliefs like that, obviously for me, doing bad in year 10 geography, I didn't really care because I knew I didn't want to become a geographer or a year 10 geography teacher. No offense to like teachers, obviously they're very important in society, but the stakes weren't that high. But maybe in like, I don't know, let's say you're in year 11 now, you've opted to do Spec A or something, and you think you're like dumb and you're not good at Spec A, you're gonna study like someone who's not good at the subject, right? Your negative self-image has manipulated you into doing less work. It's changed your work ethic. You think that you're so stupid, there's no point of you doing work because you'll never be a certain level. That's manipulation, bro. If someone else is telling you that, you would be like, this guy's a fucking manipulator. But why can't you detect it in yourself that you're manipulating yourself? It's hard to detect, I know, and I'm obviously a victim of that self-bully. I call it self-bullying because it's like you're bullying yourself into submission. You're bullying yourself into not being at the level, but not even deserving to try. And if you don't try, you're never gonna make progress, and then you're never gonna believe you deserve progress, and you're never gonna make progress anyway. And then you're never gonna make progress, and you have like a fucked up self-idea of yourself. That's the two punches, bro. Like, you're knocked out squared, right? Like, that's bad. Now, this is how. So far I've told you that even though it sounds foreign and alien, you've been manipulating yourself. You've been doing this. Now I'm gonna show you how to, not to unmanipulate yourself, but how to manipulate yourself further in a positive direction. And if you implement these things today, because this action, you can do it today. You can do it as soon as this video is done. You can do it. This is like, literally, I could call this video my 10-second method, right? Because it literally takes 10 seconds to start, but it takes a lifetime to develop, right? And this is it. The first thing is you have to realize what you think you're bad at. So as an exercise, while I'm talking, think of something that you think you're bad at. I'll give you, you can definitely think of it by now. What is something you think you're bad? You could think you're an introvert. You could think you're bad at maths. You could think you're not good at sports. You could think you're fat. There's things about you that you think are negative traits that you've assigned to yourself, right? Everyone has it. No one's immune to insecurity. You have some sort of insecurity. So think about it. Now, this is how you start to reverse these things, but not to reverse them, to turn it around and go forward. The first thing is you tell yourself, you know what, I actually am extremely extroverted. If you've been in this house all day and you're like, I'm not gonna brag, but I was outside today and I made some moves, right? But okay, what am I saying? But basically, I wasn't in this house all day, but if I was in this house all day long, literally, like, I didn't do a single thing. I was just in this house, looking at my roof, like, being insecure and anxious. I'll still tell myself, you know what, I'm actually really extroverted. Like, I love talking to new people, and I love making, like, if I was nervous to make videos on YouTube, right, I would just tell myself, and I did, I'm like, you know what, I really like doing this. Like, I like putting myself out there, like, because I actually do, right? For some people they don't. For me, I actually do, so it's easier for me. But there's other things where you think you're bad at something. Step 1, just tell yourself you're good at it. Step 2, do it again, right? And just keep doing it, and do it over and over and over, and do it over an extended period of time, right? And this is where the magic happens. If you tell yourself, me, the Nuga Mangi, I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking about now, because touch wood, it comes true, but it may not happen, but I think it'll happen. You convince yourself, I am someone who deserves to do really well in my endeavor, and you tell yourself that multiple times over and over again, and you do it for months and months on end, you're gonna end up working towards that like someone who deserves that. If you think I'm someone who deserves to top my class, then if you tell yourself that enough times, you'll begin to work like that. You'll begin to work like you're someone who deserves to top your class. You'll begin to study longer hours. You'll begin to take more pride in your work. You'll stay back and ask questions to your teacher. You'll sacrifice things that you used to like doing, because like now you're like, your new persona is this locked in guy who's super locked in and ambitious, even though nothing happened. By telling yourself that I am someone who's super locked in and motivated, now here's the catch, you then begin to act like you are super locked in and motivated, and then that proves to you, see, I told myself I'm locked in and motivated, and that made me study an extra 2 hours today. That means now I can say with substance that I am more motivated and locked in, and that causes me to then work 4 extra hours the next day, and that adds up. Everything adds up, and this causes a positive upward spiral, right? This is how you manipulate yourself to achieve more, and it's so easy, it's so fun, it's so like fulfilling and freeing when there's something you think you're bad at, to just shut up and say, no, I'm good at it, right? If everyone around you've told you, if they've manipulated you into thinking, yeah, you're someone who can't do maths, you can literally today just say, no, I am Albert Einstein, I'm that smart, I deserve to top my class. And for the first couple of weeks, it's gonna be foreign as hell, but just keep pushing, do the manual thoughts, right? But then supplement the manual thoughts by doing work, by making progress, and then use that progress to back up your new identity. You know what? In the very beginning, let's say that your thing is to become more extroverted, right? Then, like, if you feel like an introvert, step 1, tell yourself, I'm super extroverted. Step 2, think about a time in your life where you did something extroverted, and use that to back yourself up and think, like, without even lying, now I'm someone who is capable of that. Like, an example is, like, a couple of years ago, I felt like very like scared of talking to new people. I was in the airport and I saw a woman drop her AirPods. I went up to her and I'm like, hi, excuse me, you dropped your AirPods. Here's your AirPods. Where's it? Hi, you dropped your AirPods. It's just here, right? That was like, back then, like, dude, I'm like 14, 13 years old. That is pushing that's pushing your boundaries. That's considered extrovert. You can consider that extroversion, because then now, if I'm in this position now, and I want to force myself to become a bit more extrovert, looking back at that can supplement this new identity change, and then with that you go do something else, and that causes a new change, and that causes more and more fuel to your fire, and now you are what you preach, and now you've made progress, and now in your mind you believe, oh yeah, I am someone who is success. Because it's so easy for you to think, I'm like pretty bad at maths, I can't do maths. It's actually the same difficulty to convince yourself, I'm actually really good at maths. And then you get a couple questions right, that proves it. You continue it, it continues to prove it, and now you've made more progress than you would have otherwise. This is my method to manipulating yourself into achieving more. If you like today's content, then repay me by just implementing it. I don't like to be, I want to say like, subscribe, comment, share, share squared, tell your mother, post on your story. I could tell you to do that, or I could just tell you to listen to what I say, implement it, and then you'll literally be raving about me because of how much change I made to your life. So do me a favor, do you a favor by implementing what I told you and seeing the success. Good luck.